we're into part 4 of mental illness. And we're now into how God moves on us with grace. It's very, very interesting. I pointed out to you in the former one that God took me out of the world. And he delivers me into 2 experiences of, number 1, seeing this city in space, telling me that there is a relatedness that's there. Didn't show me a one-family house. He showed me a city in space. And then secondly, takes me into this tunnel which goes into another symbol of the Star of David and the Christian cross fused to each other. The Christian cross descending from the Star of David, the bottom point of it, fused to it and one with it. And I come back from those experiences with the belief that there's something very wrong with this world and that it is not a world of sharing and caring. And we're moving on from there. Now that's the truth. This is not a world of sharing and caring. And the closest it ever came to maybe is socialism or communism. But even under those kinds of circumstances, for instance, communism, which once is share property common, it did not exclude the use of violence because the human mind is scared. The human mind set up the communistic aspect out of trying to make ourselves feel safe in some kind of a shared existence. But if you don't have it, then the human mind steps in and says, knock off the other guy who's in the way of you feeling good. And it turned on itself, and as we know from the history of it, as well in various civilizations, that we now attack each other in order to feel safe. Human survival. Human survival. Well, God has to deal with this with the matter of grace, because when God moves something in, it is not filled with fear. It is not. And we're going to look at what God delivers from this grace. And I'll finish off in the portion of it from 233, the verse number 233 from the Footladder of Notes Divine, which you'll find on our website, with these words. God says, hear not, don't hear not thy mind, which are involved in matters malicious, unheard in ways of kingdom sites, C-I-T-E-S. Withdraw, my son, from the meanness, that's our destructiveness in the human mind, that retracts the will of me. Rent not thy heart to sources unknown, which belongs to me. Enter thy crown. Now God's talking about grace, that he is going to be enabling you to withdraw from the cruelty of the human mind, the savagery of the human mind, but only, as God is pointing out here, when you wish to be able to see that there is an answer, and the answer is that you have to enter that sphere which belongs to God, which he says, enter thy crown. Nice wording, isn't it? Enter thy crown. Enter thy crown. And what is this like? We're moving into now verse number 234, again of the Footladder of Notes Divine. And here it goes as God begins to describe what this crown is like. When comes the rain of heavenly bliss upon faltering souls, blessed peace makes path to wounded minds. Now I'll read it again. Whence comes the rain of heavenly bliss? That's the grace. You're now going to experience the presence of grace. whence comes the rain of heavenly bliss upon faltering souls. The soul has faltered. There's a portion of your soul which is uneasy, knows that it's lost, it's faltering, it can't make a move, it doesn't know the direction. And grace is going to now have to heal this. So grace is going to come. When comes the rain of heavenly bliss, that's the delivery of the grace upon faltering souls, this is what happens. Blessed peace makes the path to wounded minds. Now I'll read it once more for you, because this is about all of us, folks. All of us in this world are troubled souls. All of us, when you go into this world, you have lost track of your true identity and of the presence of the original creator of the world, of love, of spirit, of eternal peace and love and joy. So God opens up with this in verse 234, set you up for it. Whence comes the rain of heavenly bliss upon faltering souls, blessed peace makes path to wounded minds. The experience of peace, of quietness, you become aware there's another option. I'm at peace. What is this blessed peace? Nothing's bothering me when I'm in that state. I feel at ease. All the things that were worrying before, they're not there. There is this moment, or moments, or a longer period of time with it, in which you now know that an option to your loss of awareness of the qualities of God and of your own qualities are now being countered. Your wounded mind is receiving a healing from God, which shows you there is another dimension. And this is the dimension which you want. It feels good. You know that there is a way to be able to get this peace. You now begin to follow different aspects, different treasured moments, different ideas of what worth is. You want that peace. You want it. And it dictates that you are going to be loving and caring about yourself because you feel of worth. It's not that you feel worthless, you feel of worth, and you're entitled from this feeling of worth to feel that aspect. It's different from the human mind. The human mind denied the worth, was filled with anxiety, was filled with depression, uneasiness, projections that other people also look upon you this way, and you have to watch out for them. It's gone in that moment. You know that there is a moment when indeed you feel the absence of them, and in the absence of those negative feelings is just a quiet, a peace, a sense of worth, a sense that your Creator made you of a different nature. And you also have become aware that you left your body in those experiences. When you saw that city out in space and you saw that symbol of the Star of David and the cross, you had left your body and you came back to it after those experiences were over. That grace delivered to you the quality of what the experience of love is, and then also provides to you the awareness of what the corrections are for it while you're in this world, that you are going to assist people to become the representatives of that feeling of peace, that it's delivered by grace outside of your understanding, never expecting it, but which is accurate and brings to you so forcefully there is another dimension. And of course God now has to be able to help you to handle and push forward in this dimension, because what happens is your human mind doesn't like where you went. God did not conk out your human mind. He didn't slug you with a cosmic baseball bat and say, boom, okay, Robert, it's all over now. I just knocked that bum out who was bothering you. It doesn't happen that way. God counters the human mind, lets you lead in deciding which mind you like. And he provides enough experiences that if it takes more than one experience, and it does, it even did with Jesus, any number of experiences as Jesus went through his life expand as a human being, where his head bothered him, and he became mean, unkind, etc. And then grace moved on him through other people who touched him deeply and changed his attitudes and opinions about others and of himself, because he became expanded into the awareness that he's the healer of all of God's children, not just some of them. And he proceeds in this kind of thing, and even to the last moment is unaware of the fullest qualities of God until God shows him that he was loved and that he had achieved what he needed to achieve, and he didn't know it, and he thought that God had forsaken him. Now he knows it, and he returns to the awareness of God's love of him, and he lets go of this world. Unto you I commend my spirit. That's what's going on here. This is what gets delivered to you by grace. Well, we're going to go further on this aspect in the next segment.